There is a deep truth that is known to only a few people. We think that we understand how the world operates, but there are forces that are hidden from nearly everyone. Consider this bird. It appears to be ordinary, and indeed it is just that, an ordinary starling. It acts like all of the other birds you have encountered. It walks, it flies, and it eats just like any other bird. But there are times when it transcends its normal bird existence and becomes something more. Here we see a large group of starlings flying in what is known by biologists as a swarm. It almost appears to be an organism with its own will, but it is not an organism. However, this swarm is more than any individual bird. Do you believe that one of the birds is controlling all of the others? Do you believe that there is a bird that decides what the swarm will do? Of course not. No bird is in control. Instead, what we see is known as an emergent property. The swarm behaves in a way that is different than the will of any single bird. The swarm is not an organism, but in some important ways it behaves like a giant organism, and it is different from any of the single birds. Physicists call these sorts of groupings active matter. Similar to the swarm of starlings, here we see a swarm of small anchovies. They also appear to be a giant organism, but they are not. However, the swarm displays behaviors that are distinct from any individual fish. There is no fish that is the leader. There is no fish that is telling the others what to do. The behavior of the swarm is an emergent property, and it cannot be explained by the behavior of any individual fish. This active matter is something different than our everyday experiences, and it is something important. Like birds and fish, bacteria also form into swarms, and they move in large patterns that cannot be explained by any individual bacterium. There is no leader of the bacteria swarm, and no bacterium directs the larger patterns. The larger patterns are an emergent property. Do these swarms of fish, birds, and bacteria intrigue you? They are beautiful to look at, but what is important about them is much deeper and much more relevant to our lives. These swarms are just small indications of a greater but hidden principle that shapes our world and has a fundamental impact on every one of our lives. Do you want to know more about this deep truth? There will be future videos where more will be revealed in the words of Cherisy.